Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. This past Shabbat, I actually hit on, a particular segment of teaching and learning, which is instrumental to those of us who are Hebrews and we're Israelites. There are a lot of people today are taking the scriptures out of context. And of course, those of you who come in to this knowledge, who I bear witness that you have a zeal, but it's not according to knowledge. If you adopt some of these philosophies, some of these doctrines and teachings from people who, to tell you the truth, really are not even old enough to teach. They haven't been in the consciousness or haven't been awake long enough to even rightly divide the word of truth. And of course, and the confusion of today is that you have all these teachers. Now, the apostles, they tried to help us way back then. They tried to help us. They tried to warn us. They told us that there were false prophets among the people in that day. But then he turned around and says, but there will be false teachers among us who would privily bring in damnable heresies. And so, in my community, when I mean community, I'm talking about the community of the blacks, the people who have a different hue, the Negroes, what is commonly referred to in the Bible as those are from Niger, or the niggers. And most people have their mind and their conscience manipulated and coerced to even deny their true identity based upon the racism and the disparaging comments that another nation or nations has actually used reverse psychology against us and has us even abhorring even our own culture. And this is just a sad thing. But our identity is very important. It's easy. I mean, those who understand or overstand the scriptures and can rightly divide the word of truth, it's clear who the ancient Israelites were. It really truly is. But what's even more clear is that all the false teachings that are going on today, and the mistake that is being made is that you're hearing people taking the word out of context. And one of those contexts that they're taking out or misusing and abusing the scriptures, and also abusing young minds, the youth, is this calling everybody from Africa Hamites, and rightfully so. But I need for you to listen to me real close. Most people try to define Israel as a geographical location that has been redefined by the Europeans in 1948 with the Balfour Agreement, and moved a bunch of Ashkenazis, the seed of Japhet, into that area, who has actually practiced replacement theology and has taken and stolen the heritage and the culture of my people, the Israelites. But what's disturbing about my people is misapplying and misusing the scriptures and bringing forth the spirit of division. Remember in Proverbs 6, this is one of the things that the Most High hates more than anything, is that he that soweth discord among the brethren. And most people have adopted certain positions, and of course, if you are a novice lifted up with pride and you do not really truly comprehend and understand the scriptures like you think you do, or because you know a few words or you heard somebody, you're going to misapply this and misappropriate a lot of things. Because the true land of Israel, it's also defined in the scriptures as well. As a matter of fact, you'll find it in Bereshit 15, when it goes all the way to the river Euphrates, over there to where it says in Bereshit 2, one of those rivers was just happened to flow from the land that is commonly called, and matter of fact, has had this name from the beginning, of Ethiopia. And so I got a lot of digressions going here, but if there's a real true restoration of the Hebraic language at one time, which is true, a dead language, it would not come from European Ashkenazis who have mixed a German Yiddish Hebrew. That's what the majority of people do. You know, a lot of people are following Yiddish traditions and Yiddish ways. That's what they're doing. So when you see people wearing what they call tzitzits, and they have these repelling ropes with a blue cord running in it, they really truly think that they're actually following the way of the Israelites, but they really truly don't know what tzitzits are. If you really truly want to know what tzitzits are, and this is just one of the customs that many of my people have adopted into captivity, along with head coverings and diadems and a bunch of other things, which is definitely not of our culture and shouldn't be of our culture, shouldn't even be used based on right application of scripture. But you know, I'm sure that I'm not going to, in one video, are going to change the minds of everybody, which I'm not seeking to do that. Only those who have the ears to hear. But if you go to www.straightwaytruth, STRAIGWAYTRUTH.com, and you look over there to the left-hand side, scroll about middle ways down the page, I have a newsletter on tzitzits, and that'll help bring you online exactly what they really are. So no, I don't adopt any Jewish traditions because I know exactly who those people are. You know, they are the descendants of Judah, from... Anyway, I ain't gonna go on too far about that. I'll just stop right there with that. Let me keep on what I'm talking about before I get off again, like I normally do on videos, because I want to try to do whatever I can to try to educate people to the proper truth. But the truth is, you know, there's a lot of people that's trying to make people feel bad based upon the nationality of their father, and trying to tell them that they are not bloodline Israelites. Well, that which is born of flesh is flesh, and that which is born of spirit is spirit. And a lot of times people really truly don't comprehend. You can't define Israel based upon the geographical location that the Europeans have set. Israel is based upon what the scriptures have said, based from what our father Abraham said, which was from the Euphrates down into one of those rivers that actually flow into the land of Ham, which commonly has been redefined as Africa by the European by the name of Leo Scipius Africanus. And I know I done lost a lot of people because, you know, you're deceived in the religion that you're in, and you think you know something and you really truly don't know nothing. And truth has always been skewed by people's own self-interest, especially if it doesn't fit what they wanted to fit, then they just go ahead and skew the truth and twist, warp, distort, and wrestle the scripture to their own destruction to make it fit whatever they want in order to make their minds feel comfortable. And of course, you know, Josephus said the same thing too. He said the Europeans had this uncanny ability to be able to rename and redefine nations, people, and give them names so that they may be better understood amongst the Greeks and of course, and the Romans. But I know, you know, if you're ignorant of history, you're going to repeat the same mistakes of the past. But let's look at the fact right here. Did y'all know that Abraham married what would commonly be called today an African by the name of Keturah? Now, see, that means these people, there's a lot of reevaluation that has to be done because people are misapplying and misappropriating the scriptures. They don't really truly comprehend the Torah or what is really truly understand. They don't have any idea what it means about mixing and mixing of nations and stuff. They have no clue. But I'm gonna give you a few more facts. You know, Joseph, he actually went into Mizraim and he married an Egyptian by the name of Asenath and had two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. Amazing, isn't it? And then you go to Moses, who actually married the Cushite or the Ethiopian one. Okay, you know, of course, Israel, the word Cush or Cushite in modern day Israel is used with a negative content or slanderous and the derogatory word like they use here in America today by calling black people niggers, which to me, you actually giving me a compliment because I'm not so easily swayed to be moved because I know the etymology of words. So when you calling me a nigger, you actually giving me a compliment. Now I can discern the spirit and the intent you're using it in, and I will judge more about the intent of the way you're using the word rather than how you're misapplying it out of context, because ignorance is not bliss. But anyway, so, and then you go look at the law of us Israelites where, you know, if we went into a land and we went to war, we conquered it, and there we saw a beautiful woman that we wanted to take for a wife. No doubt this is a woman of a different nation, different nationality. She could actually become our wife. How could she become our wife? Well, she could become our wife if we give her 30 days to mourn her parents, and everything that's taking place. After this, we will shave her head and cut her nails, and then afterward we go into her, and then she would be our wife. But many people don't know this. They don't know history, and they don't comprehend. And so we have a lot of division amongst Israel and the Kemetic line of people, and not really truly knowing what the facts are. Because again, I say it again, truth is usually skewed when people have their own agenda and their own self-interest, which means more to them than the truth does. So what are we going to do about all these patriarchs that have actually married what we commonly call Hamites today, while a lot of people are looking down as Africans, down their nose and their eyes with utter disdain? It's nonsensical. See, but hey, that's why it's important. Among a counselor, among 1,000, you only have one counselor. And our problem is we eating off too many tables. Because we get around those who say what we want to say. And like I say, a lot of times, a lot of these movements today are tapping into the frustration and the anger, which has definitely happened to our people here in the land of the Americas, which I'm very familiar with. But hey, I hope I've said something to stimulate thought, to get people to understand, or to overstand. The problem is, and here's the issue right here, it wasn't the fact of marrying what you call strange people of the lands. It's the fact, and the problem is, according to the Torah, in Shemot 12, start at verse 48 and read 2:51. The problem is when you had these strangers, if they were male, they wouldn't be circumcised and receive, and then come in to keep the Passover. And they wouldn't walk in the law, statutes, and commandments. When you had these unconverted women, that's the problem right there. Because it was never forbidden for us to take one of another nation. And I know, boy, I've started a firestorm with these ignorant people today. And it's utterly amazing. It really, truly is. But, hey, I remember Moshe, he almost, the Most High almost killed Moses for being so caught up in the movement and everything that he, for some way, somehow overlooked circumcising his son and his wife, Zipporah, the Midianite. She actually circumcised him through the foreskin at him. It's utterly amazing things have gone on, and the things that definitely have been overlooked today. But if you don't have the spirit of truth, I understand. If you don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, then it's not for you. I comprehend it very well. Only those who have the spirit of truth will hear me. And most people just simply don't spend enough time really truly listening. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Hey, y'all have a wonderful day. Shalom. The King is coming.